What a pleasure.
It's good to see you in
To
person
see you.
here.
Would you mind if you would both just look to camera and give us your best toss?
I haven't got much to toss.
Oh, that's really good.
Really good.
I don't know where he went with that, but
Oh,
there it is. That's how you do it.
Fantastic.
Perfection.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So we come from the greater Oz fandom. That's our corner of the world. So I am always interested to know your first interactions with the Oz world, whatever that was.
Oh, wow. For me, I grew up watching The Wizard of Oz on tape all the time. I mean, my parents are immigrants that came in, and so the Yellow Brick Road, The Wizard, Behind the Curtain, that always was a big part of growing up. So I think it's the colors that stayed with me. You know, even when we were shooting, the moment we had the Yellow Brick Road in front of us, I'd been watching the Yellow Brick Road been made. I knew where it was going to go. I've seen the designs, but standing on it in a set in the middle of the woods with curvy trees, I think there were grown crew members who were in tears, being like, I can't believe we get to do this.
And there was a camera test specifically for the second film, which, not to give any spoilers, but the characters do evolve into different iconic characters of Wizard of Oz. But we came together. Do you remember that first day? And it was spine tingling. But yeah, I grew up a big family. My grandparents loved Wizard of Oz, so for me it sort of was permeated into the world around me, and I can't really remember where it starts. But yeah, I can't believe that we're sort of here and part of it now.
This question specifically, Jon, for
Yes.
you. As the newest royal historian of Oz, how
really?
did you decide which parts of the greater Oz canon to incorporate?
Well, one, I did. I had to go back into the book, the original book, the L. Frank Baum book, look at the Denslow drawings. To me, the Denslow drawings were magnificent, were beautiful. They really changed our way of thinking of it. You know, at some point, I think he says, like, Oz is connected by waterways. And when we were thinking about Shiz, it was like, well, this is a place that's been there for many, many years, way before the wizard ever got there, then a waterway would enter it. And it really inspired that. I didn't think that the studio would ever allow us to build that waterway, but Nathan Crowley, our production designer, is very good at manipulation and figured out how to force the studio to do that, coming in on boats. So it's little things like that. And then I also did a lot of research on L. Frank Baum himself, the person, who's a very complicated character, and how he raised show chickens and stuff, and what his view of the American dream was at that point, when they're leaving the Dust Bowl era, going Depression, going into war, and America was in transition. How Wizard of Oz is sort of made up of parts, just like America, like an American car. And I love this idea of transportation as being away from the water to the road, to the boats, to the trains, to flight, ultimately. So a lot of those things inspired maybe some images, maybe some connections with Wicked. But it was really Wicked itself that I focused on, with those little things sort of having influence along the way, if it makes sense.
So, Jonathan, Fiyero is, generally speaking, rare because in the Oz canon, he's really new. You know, we've had hundreds of years of these characters, but not yours. So you had a lot of latitude. So how did you go about crafting him and making him your own?
Yes, I'd loved obviously seeing the musical on stage, and the canon of Fiyeros. I wanted to sort of serve them. And going back to the book, obviously the adaptation has created a different Fiyero from the book, but there were certain things about his sort of sensitivity and I think the story of his identity, I think in the book, is really interesting. I wanted to draw on that, and the opportunity to tell a huge transformative arc, I think, was really exciting to me. And having met Jon and spoke to him for a couple of hours, and it was clear that the challenge, he was ready to just dive in and create as much nuance and as pain, and to reflect the two amazing performances of Ari and Cynthia's characters. So yeah.
In the moment when Elphaba says to him in the forest, like, we wouldn't be so unhappy, his expression, I mean, he took his time in there. It's complete silence, and his brain literally breaks. And that really affected the whole movie when we found that, when you did that, because it felt like, oh yes, this is about waking up. That we're actually, in a weird way, outside of the story of Wizard of Oz and Wicked. That in a weird way, right now, at this urgent moment, we're actually deconstructing story, deconstructing who is the storyteller, who gets to tell us who is the hero, what is beautiful, who's the villain. And I love that each character asks their first question in this movie about this world, and it in a way like Pleasantville or something like that. It opens up what the story actually is about, and I love that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
I appreciate your time. This was lovely.
Lovely
So
to
nice
meet
to meet
Huge
you.
fans of what you guys do. We watch it every week. I keep telling my wife, like, have you ever had someone narrate your life week by week? Because it is insane. So we love you guys so much.
I get my movie updates from her.
Well, thank you for being so kind to the
That's how we
audience.
find out what's
We
happening
guys
in Wicked.
appreciate
is
how
from
much
you
you
guys.
love Oz.